So now the United States and China's artificial intelligence race ramping up. Wall Street Journal today, long piece on this. The AI Cold War that will redefine everything. The head of defense at Palantir Technologies, former Congressman Mike Gallagher, is here in studio, and welcome back to New York.
Hi.
It's great to be back.
Yeah, is it great?
Indeed.
Okay, thanks for that. Back to the piece. The escalating AI race is drawing comparisons with the Cold War and the great scientific and technological clashes that characterized it. It is likely to be at least as consequential. Go ahead and make the case whether you agree or not. There's a little pushback in that article, too. Go ahead.
I agree with the framing. I do think we're in the early stages of a new Cold War with communist China. I think the analogy allows us to understand the scale of the effort. This is a whole of society competition, as well as the stakes, which I would argue are existential. Now, that's not to say the new Cold War is perfectly analogous to the old. In fact, what makes it more challenging is that we are economically interdependent with China. We find ourselves having too much dependence in key areas, particularly when it comes to rare earth mining and processing and things like that, where we're going to have to wean ourselves off our dependency on China. But I do think the framing makes sense. And the rough analogy is that the role that nuclear weapons played in the old Cold War with the Soviet Union is the role that AI is playing in this new Cold War with China. And we absolutely cannot allow the Chinese Communist Party to control the commanding heights of critical technology in general and artificial intelligence in particular.
So do you believe we are ahead of China now? And if so, or if not, what do we need talent-wise here in the United States to stay ahead or keep ahead?
I think when it comes to the hardware underlying AI, i.e. the most advanced chips, we are ahead, which is why it's important that President Trump made the wise decision not to allow China to have access to our most advanced chips. But that shouldn't be a cause for complacency. When it comes to the talent question, that's where China seems to be catching up. There's a joke that reveals some truth, which is that the AI competition is a competition among Chinese, both Chinese in mainland China and Chinese here in America, because American institutions rely upon Chinese talent that are here. I think it's long past time where we crack down on giving certain CCP-affiliated researchers access to our institutions here, and there's obviously more we need to do to reform our entire educational system, starting with K through 12, and of course culminating higher education to prioritize top-level talent going into fields that matter and being able to work on national security problems, which is why at Palantir we are unashamed to admit that we work on behalf of the American warfighter, and we're finding that there's a lot of patriotic, talented young Americans who actually want to apply their talents to helping American warfighters become more lethal and scaring the crap out of America's enemies.
I like that at the end there. Xi in Beijing in 2017 said by the year 2030, China's going to be the global leader in AI. And there's a lot of things in this piece here. I would just argue that we ain't dead yet. I mean, I look at all the technology investments here and see what NVIDIA's doing and every technology company. So hang on, I think we're in a pretty good spot. Meanwhile, the crackdown on fentanyl. China says it's doing this, all right? Here's the president on that just this week, okay?
I've given China great incentives to hold down the fentanyl, get rid of it ideally. You know, a lot of people don't know it's used as an anesthesia, it's used as a lot of things. A lot of good things happen, but unfortunately when it's developed a certain way, a lot of bad things happen. So China's working very hard on that. I really believe that, and they have an incentive.
How do we know?
Well, one key indicator, if China is serious, because we've kind of seen, when it comes to China and any international agreement, particularly on fentanyl, the check seems to always be in the mail. We proved definitively on the Select Committee on China that the regime is subsidizing key companies that are producing precursors. One thing they can do is provide us a list with those companies. We should be able to sanction those companies, and then they should extradite the key leaders of those companies that are involved in killing Americans. So there's a lot of proof that will be in the pudding here. I hope it's true. I hope they're cracking down. It also starts with having now a tougher policy on the southern border and paying attention to what's happening in our own hemisphere, which you have to give this administration credit for. So it's a defense in depth, right? Starting in our own border, starting in our own hemisphere, but actually being able to go after the companies and individuals that are producing the precursors subsidized by the Chinese Communist Party in mainland China itself.
We love having you on the show. We've missed you. Thank you for being here.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
We'll stay in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Hey, it's Will Kane. Click here to subscribe to the Fox News channel on YouTube. It's the best way to get our latest interviews and highlights. And click to subscribe to the Will Kane podcast for full episodes right now.